Welcome, listener. Thanks so much for watching, listening, subscribing to 2 on OSU. Before we jump into the show with Oklahoma State softball coach Katie Gajewski, I have the privilege of thanking our show sponsors. Thanks to Two Fellas Movers, the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, MidFirst Bank, FireLakeJobs.com, and Oklahoma Ford Dealers. Reminder, drive into your best in Oklahoma Ford Dealers today for the best deals on Ford's full lineup of trucks and SUVs. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. The Cowgirl softball season starts up February 8th. That's a Thursday in California against Cal State Northridge. Oklahoma State looking to reach its 5th consecutive College World Series. Now let's jump into the interview with Katie Gajewski. Katie Gajewski joins us. He's entering his 9th season at Oklahoma State and coming off 4 straight Women's College World Series appearances. Kenny, I figured we'd start there. It's as good a place as any. I was wondering if you go big picture with me for a second. When you first shook Mike Holder's hand or, first sat in the very seat you're sitting in for the first time, was that something you envisioned? 4 straight College World Series appearances?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I envisioned big time success here. It's been done here before. It's one of the most attractive parts of the job when you take it, is the history that Sandy Fisher laid for all of us, foundation that she set for all of us. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, I mean, I envision big time things. And so what that is, I don't know. I don't sit around and try to plan out the future. But it's been a crazy great run up to this point, and I feel like we're just getting started.
At what point does a run at what point can we stop calling it a run? At what point does a run just become kind of the norm, just a regular thing?
Well, I mean, I hope, we're sitting back here. I mean, in 10 more years and going, man, what a run. You know what I mean? But I don't know, we're day to day here, and it's good stuff for everybody to talk about. And it, with the success of our friends that are down south, it gives us a little bit of an advantage, I feel, because we know right what we've got to do, and we can just look right down the road and not have to wonder what it's like. We know what it's like, and it's been cool. So look, you guys can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm good with that. We're just going to try to get back there again this year and give us a chance to win the final game.
Something that sticks out to me, Kenny, about your coaching style, especially, it's kind of odd to me considering how much success you've had, is you're not scared of change. And I feel like a lot of coaches, especially coming off 4 World Series, would just try to tighten down the screws and do everything the same. But as we shift the conversation toward this batch of Cowgirls this season, where do you feel like you've changed the most? And where did your embracing or at least not being scared of change, where'd that come from?
I don't know. I think I've been in my previous life, I've been a business owner. I think if you've ever been self-employed, it's a different kind of stress, different kind of fear when you're feeding other people's families. And that you're responsible, that creates a different internal clock in you that you've got to work and you've got to grind. But I don't know. Change is just something I like to evolve. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I feel like I know this program very well inside and out. And I want to do the promise I made to Coach Holder when I got to this job is I would always do what I feel like is best for OSU and this program. And so we're going to continue to do that. The change in our team is not necessarily a change that I always want to have, but you have to have, it's just the way the world works. These kids only get 4 years, so there's going to be constant change there. coaching staff wise. I just want to do what's best for them, and best for us. And so I guess that's why I'm able to do that stuff. I will tell you, I don't like always making change. We've had a little bit more change, in the coaching staff than I probably would have wanted to, but I can probably look back and say, I would have knocked something out a little faster, may not have had some of that change. It's just life. It's just the growing pains. It's the maturity. It's the experience. It's everything involved. And so I don't like having hard conversations or having to do hard things, but I will do them if they're necessary for the betterment of this program.
Let's get into that a little bit. The NCAA this summer sent out, a little blip that I assume was, did huge things in your building and in other softball buildings. You can have another coach, at least another paid coach. How tangible has that been? I know you used it with Vanessa Shippey, bringing her on full time, and she's what she's done for the program. But just how beneficial has that been with bringing in, being able to tenure Coach Shippey, keep her around like that?
Well, it's an amazing thing, to grow our game. I think we've shown as a sport that it was probably time. It's also great for our game because it just opened up a lot more full-time jobs, or at least opportunities for women too. And I think that's a big deal. So I'm excited about it. We've been fighting for a long time. We thought we were gonna get it about 3 years back, and then it just at the very end just really fell apart. We were really disappointed at that time. I do understand why. I do still understand that this is still a major impact to athletic department budgets. So we have to be conscious of that. But the way our game is changing, I don't think there's really a need for a volunteer coach. These people spend a lot of time here, and let's face it, we know that they were making money. They weren't working for free, but there's really no reason that they shouldn't get benefits and the packages that they deserve. So I'm very thankful. It's going to really help grow our game. We'll see where it goes from here.
You had a lot of good buys this year. And I think Rachel Becker and Cheyenne Factor are still around the program helping out, but at least from the lineup, might be tough or sad not getting to write those people's names and a lot of players' names into the very top of the lineup. But just, I guess, what were those good buys like with Kylie Naomi and Cheyenne Factor and Rachel Becker and whoever else I'm missing? And is it this lineup card? There's a lot of change this year.
Yeah, well, first off, the goodbyes are terrible. I hate them. Like we still have Cheyenne and Rachel here in our office as graduate assistants, so that's a great feeling to still have them and their love for this program and wanting to stay around and get a master's, and then on top of that, just help this program, just to achieve even new heights. So that's awesome. But this is the kind of the circle of life in softball. I mean, we're gonna go through change, and we rode a good wave with a number of kids, and now we're gonna start a new one with a new group, and it's exciting. It's scary. It's exciting, but we're still really talented. We're like 2019. We're very green. We're going to have some ugly moments at times. I mean, for instance, we've had great practices since we've been back until last night. Last night we looked like we couldn't catch a ball or throw a ball. It's just going to happen at times. So we got to learn how to get that stuff fixed in game. I mean, that's one of the biggest things is, can you make a mistake and then bounce right back and get everybody together? And that's what those older experienced kids can do. And so now it's teaching these younger kids, and it's taking kids like Cheyenne and Rachel, Vanessa, Carrie, all these kids that have been in our program that understand how I am as a head coach, to be able to handle that, and to be able to go forward. So those are the fun, exciting, scary things that we're going through each day here. We're going to be very good, and we'll be a lot different team in April, May, and June than we look like right now. I can tell you that.
And you're taking this team, Kenny, to Florida in a week to go play against some really quality opponents, like you've made a habit of the last few years. Do you think it's even more important, these first games against great opponents with a green team?
Yeah, no, I think it's everything. We've done that each year with all of our teams. We actually started in California first, Ben, and we'll go there next Thursday. And then we'll finish that road trip against one of the most storied programs of all time in UCLA. And then we'll come home and then go back to Florida or go to the East Coast and play in the best tournament in the country, in Clearwater. And then we're actually going to stay there the whole week, play a midweek game against Stetson, and then playing another great tournament at the University of South Florida against teams like Washington and South Florida. And it's just like punch you in the face from the first couple weeks. And then we come home and we have 1 week of games here and then conference. So it's a new journey for us as far as the conference goes. And then it's going to be a new journey for these kids that haven't been through the rigors of our conference.
Kenny, when OU and Texas leave after this year, how good will the Big 12 be? I know you're all about trying to play tough games because you said you don't really care what your record is as long as you get to the World Series, because as long as, sometimes having a worse record means you're more tested in the World Series. But I'm curious, without OU and Texas, I know Baylor's on the rise. There are some other good Big 12 teams. How do you see the future of the league being able to prepare you for the World Series?
Well, I think if you, if you want to peel the layers back, I mean, I don't like the fact that OU and Texas are going to be gone. I mean, those are 6 games that we get to play against top 10, top 15 schools, right now. However, we will bring in Arizona State, and Utah. Utah was in the World Series last year. Arizona was in it a couple years back, and is again one of the most storied programs of all time. Arizona State's won national titles in this sport. Arizona's won, 8 to 10. So you're bringing in high-powered teams. Now, they haven't been quite as good as OU and Texas have been, but they bring another layer of really good teams in this conference that it's going to make it tough. You add in a BYU, I imagine that's going to be as I watch football teams go there and basketball teams go there, I heard it's very hard to play there. Central Florida is a regional team. They are on the up for sure. Houston, I think they're going to continue to get better. It's a mecca for softball. The state of Texas and that area, there's some great high school kids there. We recruit there very heavy. So now that they're going to be in a major conference, that should help them. I would think. Texas Tech, they're very much on the rise. Baylor's kind of getting their mojo back after not being in OKC for a while. It looks like they're starting to turn the corner again. So you start looking and just up and down. Kansas is better. Iowa State is. It's going to be a really good conference. I mean, really good. And I really think that being in the Big 12 is really going to help Arizona and Arizona State and Utah. It's going to open them up to other kids that they really haven't been able to go and get, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be amazing. I still think that we can be in that. We're still going to be the second best conference out there behind the SEC.
You mentioned Sorry, I'll just jump in here, Sam, real fast. I mean, it feels like we see Brett Yormark around at, all these football games he's going around. How have you felt Brett's impact, of course, the new Big 12 commissioner, on a softball front?
I mean, I think it'd be hard to say that I feel it for softball, just quite yet. I think his focus is football and basketball. And I think they're doing an incredible job there. I mean, that's probably where we need his focus to be there. I think that they would say that softball is very important, but I think we all know that the two drivers here are the football teams and the basketball teams. So we got to make sure that stays at the top. Basketball, obviously, easily number one. Football is probably better than most people think as we look back, through the successes here. And so we've got to keep that up. But I'm happy with the way we're going. We seem to be very progressive, more hip, more whatever, like the kids love. Like, it's important stuff. The guy's smart. So I'm gonna hang my coat with him because I think he's gonna take us to some great spots.
Yeah, they had Nelly perform at the halftime of the championship game. Did that do anything for you?
I mean, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's kind of amazing to see some of the people that are showing up to some of our events in our conference. And he obviously is connected in a crazy way. And I'm glad he's calling in those favors now because I think it is helping this conference.
It's kind of hard just to ask you about one new player. There's a few that I want to get to for sure, but I guess I'll start with Katie Kutz. I'm curious, if you, depending on what website you check, she was listed as a top 10, top 15 type recruit, a pitcher. First off, what did that recruiting battle look like, and what did it take to get Katie to Stillwater?
I mean, it was a battle, without a doubt. In the end, I think she felt like at Oklahoma State that she could be who she wants to be, and that we always try to call ourselves a customizable program, where you can customize it for yourself. I mean, we're still playing a team sport, but I want to allow you to be who you want to be, and so. In the end, I think that's what helped us win out on her. I think she likes this atmosphere here. Think she's really enjoying being around Carrie. She's getting better. She's going through the normal freshman things that they all do. But she has moments where you look at it and go, whoa. And then she has some moments where you go, yep, it's a freshman. It's exciting. I think her future's bright, and I'm excited to go watch her compete.
Do you have any inkling yet of how the rotation will play out, or is that going to be determined in California and Florida?
Yeah, I mean, we're really not in a hurry. I mean, obviously we have an All-American back in Kilfoyle. So, she's the leader of the staff. Obviously, Kyra had an incredible first year. And then you throw in Katie and Ivy, who are both getting better every day that they are out here. We're just gonna kind of play it out here and see how it goes. I mean, we're not in a rush. We want to get all of them innings, which is very hard. But I also want to keep Lexi fresh. I think that's the most important thing. Being in her fifth year, it's going to be important to keep that body fresh. Kyra, I would imagine that she'll carry some more workload. She's built for it. She wants it. She loves it. Those two will be the leaders, and then we'll see with Katie and Ivy kind of who steps up and who blossoms at the time. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm real excited to see. And I think there's good things that are coming.
And then another player who I imagine was a tough goodbye. Of course, you lose catcher Taylor Tuck, a Stillwater player through and through. But you hit hard in the transfer portal there, bringing in Carolyn Wong, two-time A-Sun Player of the Year at Liberty. I mean, I didn't watch much Liberty last year. I know they win on they have some postseason experience, no doubt. But what about that move jumped out to you in the portal, and just how much of a benefit will she be?
Yeah, she's got a chance to really help us. I mean, she's got to do it here now and all that. But she's an awesome kid. Got married over the summer. Really enjoyed her and her husband Matt. Just being here. She's starting to hit her groove. You know what I mean? I think she understands being in her fifth year as well, kind of what the grind is like. And we're excited. I mean, she's a middle of the order hitter. That's got some big time power. She swings the bat hard. Her catching is getting better. It needs to continue to improve. But man, we've loved having her, and we think she's a plug and play kid.
I feel like you've kind of answered or figured out the answer to the grind a little bit with those broken bow trips. I know, Kenny, you're big on motivation, themes, things like that. What have you done this year? Have you brought in any programs? I know you've done some work with the program. Look it up for people at home. But is there a theme this year?
It's kind of crazy. We really just sticking with the cowgirl way and rep, which is relentless excellence and passionate. And that's kind of where we're at. We don't have a crazy theme. One may arrive. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing especially when you start to travel, things happen, memories happen, and certain things start to go. But we're really just kind of hanging our hat on the cowgirl way. I mean, that's kind of what especially with this new team, I'm not trying to force feed a theme on them, except the cowgirl way. I just want them to make sure that they're living the cowgirl way. They're practicing the cowgirl way. And so that's kind of been our deal. And so, but we have been to Broken Bow. That's one thing that we'll continue to do. We seem to have good experiences there and good memories that come out of that, and the relationships that are forged there are always great. And then the program did come in again. They'll be back this weekend just to kind of be around and check in and see our kids. So that'll be kind of cool. We're going to have our banquet the Friday the 2nd will be our banquet. That's always a great event that kind of really kickstarts our year. I know that you guys are invited, so we'll see if you guys show up and see how you like that. I know you guys have been in the past. So it's just a great event, great things. Try to keep these kids going. I also want to respect their time as students and just being normal too. So I think that's kind of where we find the balance here.
I think the guest speaker is it Sam Shao? She came in my freshman year. I wasn't on the beat yet, but she's one of the first kind of legendary players under you.
Yeah, she's a special kid, special woman now. I mean, she's really growing up, but she's here working out this whole week with our team, which is really cool. It's been great to have her around here, her competitive fire. She's heading to Japan in March. But I just felt like it would be the right person to bring back with this team. I think she with her play kind of changed the trajectory of this program in 2019. And just loves this place and just really embraced this place. And so it's really cool to have her back here. It's really cool to have her around. I think our kids have enjoyed that. I know our staff has, so it should be a great night.
One thing I wanted to ask about too, also I guess more big picture, is I remember about this time last year, OSU unveiled its whole buildings plan, and a mini Obrate was on there. But then I feel like the rise of NIL has kind of changed the way a lot of people want money devoted, and I guess where do we stand on getting a new mini Obrate, and do you even want that as much anymore? I know you're leaving a place with an incredible atmosphere where people tailgate like it's SEC baseball or something. I guess, how do you balance a want for a mini Obrate with keeping what you have?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're not really any farther along. I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of things. I've actually got a meeting with Dr. Shrum here today that she called. So I'm hopeful that there's something out there about that, or we have a plan. She's really involved in this, and just so cool to have that type of relationship with her and what she would like to see for us. So we're moving. I mean, it's in the process. It just takes time, as you guys know. I mean, if I want to be very honest, I look down the street at OU, and it's taken Patty 15 years to get this stadium built, and they've won a lot, as we all know. So this is just like her. I don't want to just do it. I want to do it right. I'd like to find a way to stay right where we're at. I really don't want to leave this corner. It may be the best, most exciting corner in college softball, period. I know it's not the biggest stadium. I know it's not the prettiest thing always, but man, when it's full, it looks about as good as it can look. And it's amazing. So I really would like to stay here. I think I've been talking, with Chad about that. And I think we're trying to work a way that we could keep this corner. So that's where it's at. I'm not spending too much time being upset or worrying about it. I can't. I mean, we've shown that we can win here. That's a bad thing, but it's a good thing. You know what I mean? So we just got to keep doing things to improve, or moving the needle towards figuring out how to stay here and still play here and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of where it's at. I don't really have a whole lot of new news, but we need to do our part and keep winning at a high level to make it a priority like others have.
And when you meet with Dr. Shrum, if there's a lull in the conversation, don't be afraid to slide in ice cream machine in the press box. I for one, not opposed to that idea, but purely if she's just looking for ideas.
We'll see what we can do, without a doubt.
Well, thanks so much to Oklahoma State Cowgirls head coach Katie Kutz for joining us on 2 on OSU. Plenty of national televised games, ESPN, ESPNU. One of the Bedlam games is on Fox Sports 1, so you can catch the Cowgirls there or on ESPN Plus pretty much all season long. And really, one of the best tickets in Stillwater is in the decks or in Cowgirl Stadium itself. So thanks to Kenny for joining us, and we look forward to covering Cowgirl softball this season. Okay, to wrap the show, thanks so much to Coach Katie Kutz for coming on. Means a lot. Enjoyed that interview. And I'll tell you what, if you enjoyed that show, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube at 2 on OSU. It really does help a lot, as does downloading and listening to the podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts. I use Spotify. Wherever you find the show, I extend a genuine thank you to folks who download it and review it and share it. All that helps Ben and I bring Oklahoma State content through the softball season and all year long. I want to thank the folks behind the scenes who make this look good, Jacquelyn Musgrove and Michael Lane, for their hard work, and I appreciate you listening. Last thing, check out the newsletter. It's unique, individual OSU content every week. Ben and I try to have some fun with it and make your Monday morning email checking just a little more fun.